రెస్ట్ అవసరట ఎన్ని రోజులు అవసరట ఇదిగో మొన్నే కదరా మామయ్య ఏదో మేనల్లుడు పుట్టిందని చెప్పింది బర్త్డే అంటాం మళ్ళీ ఎన్ని రోజులు పుట్టాడు వాకింగ్ ఇంటర్వ్యూకి వెళ్ళావా ఎక్కడ ఏం అడిగారు బస్సులు ఏం అడిగారు ఇంటర్వ్యూకి వెళ్ళావు ఇద్దరు ఇంటర్వ్యూకి వెళ్ళారా ఫీవర్ వచ్చింది నీకు నైస్ ఆలోచిస్తున్నాడు ఇంకా ఫీవర్ వచ్చిందా ఫీవర్ కూర్చోండి ఫీవర్ మరి పడిపోతారా మీరు నువ్వు వాడు కూర్చోండి ఫీవర్ వచ్చింది పడిపోతుంది మళ్ళీ కూర్చోండి పర్లేదు కూర్చో కూర్చోరా కూర్చొని చెప్తా ఏ పోతుంది కూర్చురా నీకేమొచ్చింది క్లాస్లో Wait, we have the how many layers we have total? Three layers. I told the first one is what? Controller layer, service layer, repository layer. We have three layers like this: controller layer, service layer, and what? Repository. See, the request comes to what layer? The request comes to controller. Definitely, the request comes to the controller layer. Controller layer need to send the data to what? Service layer. Service layer need to send the data to deposit layer will save the data in the database. Data in what? Database. Good. Now. So the request comes to the controller layer. See, I'm going to write the request is comes to what? Tell me guys, the request comes to what layer? Controller layer, I taken one method like I want save the data today in the database. The morning class will go for the saving operation, evening class will go for the retrieval operation. Let me go for the mapping like post mapping. What mapping? Post mapping. Post mapping, just you can give the URL for the post mapping like save employee. What employee is your save? Save employee return the method like public return type is what string. Just like you can write the save what employee. Save employee method I written like this. See, save employee means see when you send the request, when you send what request, you are sending the request. You want to save the employee. Then what you will give the input? Tell me. You want to save the employee, right? What is the input you will give? Huh? You give the details like employee details, right? Like employee ID, employee name, employee salary, department, gender. You given some inputs, right? You given what input? See guys, there is a input you are giving the request. That generally we are calling it as request body. Request what am body. The request body we have. What body we have? Request body. So we are giving the request nothing but request contains the body. The body is nothing but what? The request body, right? That employee object. See guys, for REST APIs, I can build the REST API. The REST API can be used by anyone. The REST API can be used by only Java people or only React people or mobile people. Anyone can use REST API. Yeah, anyone can use the REST APIs. If I build the REST API using Java, the REST API can be called by .NET people, can be called by Python people, can be called by what? Java people, Java, .NET, Python. Anyone can call my REST API. Anyone can use my REST API. But I'm the Java developer. I have what objects generally? Java objects. What objects, ma? Java objects. I'm the Java developer. I have the only what objects? Java objects. If I have the Java objects, if I have what? Java objects, I build the REST API, but you're the Python developer, .NET developer, and what? Java developer. Maybe Java developer can understand the Java objects, but what about Python and .NET Lokesh? They can understand, they cannot understand. They cannot? They cannot understand objects. So they cannot understand how they can call the REST APIs. How they can call what? REST API. How can you call the REST APIs generally? Using using JSON you can call the REST API. That is nice. Using what? JSON. How can you call the REST APIs using what? URL. Using URL you can call the REST API. Calling the REST API using URL that is okay. But Python people is calling the REST API using like URL. But they give the input, right? What objects they have? Python people you have what? We take Python objects. You have the Python objects. But I want what objects? Java objects. And .NET people you have the .NET object. I require what object? Java object. That's what guys. You call the REST API using like call the REST API using what? URL. Call the tell me guys. Call what? REST API using what? URL. Call the REST API using URL guys, and you give the input. You give what? Input. Anyone can call the REST API. Like anyone can what? Anyone can call the REST API using what? URL. Anyone can call the REST API using URLs. And Python people can call, .NET people can call, Java people can call. They will go. Anyone can call the REST API using what? URL. Anyone can call the REST API using URL. Python people can call the REST API. Java people can call the REST API. Anyone can call the REST API using what? URL. And anyone means you are the Python, .NET, Java people. I am the Java REST API. You don't give me the Python objects. You don't give me the .NET object. You don't give me React object. You don't give me what? A React object. That's what guys. REST APIs are like interoperable components. In real time, we can call it as a interoperable components. Interoperable means the component can be accessed by what? One guy, anyone can access that. Anyone can access. Some .NET people, how they can access REST API? They can call the REST API using URL, but they want to give the input right. They want to give what? Input. They will give the input like not .NET object, not JavaScript object, not Python object, guys. They will give the input like universal data format that is called what object? JSON object. They'll exchange the data. The REST APIs are exchange the data. The REST API is what? Exchange the data. Which format? JSON format will exchange the data. So that Java people I can understand JSON object, .NET we can understand the JSON object. So that I can convert the JSON of I got what object? JSON object. I can understand the JSON object. I will convert that JSON object into what? Java object. I can do my operations. I can do what? My operations. After operation, I want to give the response. I will give the response is Java object and JSON object. JSON object I will give to the Python people. Python people, you know the JSON object. Every language can understand the JSON. That's what real time all about the JSONs. All about what? JSON. JSON is a universal data format. Any language can understand. You give me the request is what what is the request message? JSON format. The JSON I will take. I can understand the JSON. I will convert the JSON into what? Java. So that I can do the Java operations. Once if I done the Java operation, I will generate the response. If I am generating the Java response, other people cannot understand. That's what I generate the Java response or JSON response. So the REST API will take the input format JSON, convert the JSON into what? Java. Do the operations. And I'm giving the response. What response? I give the JSON response. Python people, you convert the JSON response into the Python objects. You can work with the Python objects. With what? Python objects. So the REST API will take the input which format? And give the response which format? REST APIs always will take the data in which format? Give the output which format? You take the input JSON, give the output is also what? That's what any language can call the REST API. Any language can call the REST API using URL. They'll exchange the data using That is very, very powerful. These 2 points are very important. These 2 points are what? Very important. Anyone can call the REST API using what? URL. And they will exchange the data using so that anyone language can understand the universal data format JSON, right? That's what guys, you are giving the request. The request contains what? Body. Request contains what? Body. That is called request body coming. I need to see my method is a save employee method. The controller layer I have the method is what? Save employee. So here I need to hold the data. I need to hold the data. See guys, I need to hold the data means what you can say here. I need to hold the data. What data? Employee data. To capture that body guys. To capture that what? Body. What body? Request body. What body I have to capture? Request body. Request body I have to capture because request body only contains the employee data. I need to capture what? Request body. See guys, to capture the request body, we have one annotation like request body annotation. What annotation? Request body annotation here. I'm capturing the request body. I'm storing it what? Employee object. That is employee. That's all. So this request body annotation will capture the request body which is stored into employee. We is stored into what? Employee. Stored into employee. Got it? For the request body annotation purpose is what? It will capture the request body annotation will capture what? Request body. It will tell me guys. It will what? Capture the request body. Tell me. It will capture what? Request body. Store into what class am I here? Store into employee class. Request body annotation like that. And then request body will capture the request body stored in what class? What is request body stored into what? Employee class. That is nice. See guys, how the controller object is created? Controller object ఎట్లా create అవుతామా? ఓపెన్ చేయండి అమ్మా, నోరు ఓపెన్ చేస్తే నిద్ర రాదు. అది నోరు ఓపెన్ చేయకుండా బొమ్మలా కూర్చుంటే బొమ్మ లెక్క ఉండదు. So iterate controller is how we feel object is created. At the rate rest controller, the object is created. At the rate rest controller. Service layer, how the object is created, tell me. At the rate what, at the rate service, the object is created. Positive layer, how the object is created. At the rate positive, the object is created, right? Exactly. Three layers we have the data. Observe carefully. Three layers we have the data. Three layers we have the data like this. Enough. Three layers ready. What the request is coming? What data coming? Request by what coming in? Employee request body is the normal employee object, JSON object. Huh? Exactly. Request always coming which format, ma? Output is coming which format? Exactly. Request is coming which format? JSON. Output is coming which format? JSON format. See. Now the data comes to what? Save employee method. Which is argument is what? Employee. This is the request body and this will capture what? Request capture the capture the request body which is of employee stored into what object is it? Now what we need to do? So this is like controller layer. We just have the routing method. Just it will capture the data. Capture the data with URL. But the URL is here. Save. What is the URL? Yeah, save is the URL we have. Now you got the data. Where is the data stored in? Tell me guys here. Employee. This is employee. Hey, this employee is what data? Hey, this employee is what data? Employee is not a normal Java object, right? Normal what object? Request input, what is coming? Huh? This JSON is mapping to what object? Employee object, right? So that request body JSON is coming. The request body will capture the JSON assigned to employee object. Assigned to what? Employee object is a JSON value or normal Java object. But request body is a Java object or JSON object. See, JSON object is coming setting to employee direct. Setting to what? Sir, you said like JSON object is coming. That JSON we should convert into what? Java, sir, but here conversion in directly JSON is setting to employer. Directly setting to JSON setting to what? Hey, request body what is the request body coming? But is mapping to what data? Employee. JSON directly mapping to Java object. Generally I told what? JSON coming, JSON we should convert into what? Java, right? But here converting a directly setting up. See guys, previous versions I need to convert actually. I need to take the JSON, then I need to convert the JSON into what? Java object. But here conversion done directly setting the data. That is done by Jackson library. What library, ma? Jackson library. Jackson library is responsible to convert the JSON object into the employee direct. What library, guys? Jackson library. What library? See, guys, this is a save employee. I saved employee. After saving, I need to do what? Response. I need to give what? Response. Response means what response is in that I want to give the response. What object I saved. What object I saved, I will give the response. Response is nothing but what? Return statement. Response is nothing but what statement? But return statement, I return the JSON object, I employer. But return generally what? What object I got, I saved in the database. Same object I will return to you. This object saved. This object is what? The object is saved. The object is what? Saved. Nice. But the point is, I got the input is what? JSON. But the JSON is we are converting it directly setting the employer. That is done by Jackson library in Java. In Python, other libraries we have, some .NET other libraries we have. And return, what I want return? Generally JSON I have to return. But I'm returning the JSON, I'm returning employer. Employer. They're returning what? Employer. General REST API should return JSON or employer? Yeah. REST API should return what? JSON. JSON. But what we return? Employer. The employee is automatically converted by JSON, that is done by Jackson library. That is also done by what? See guys, request is coming like JSON, directly set to employee. So automatically JSON is converted into employee by Jackson library. Return type is what? General what we have to return. We are returning the JSON or just normal Java object. We return the Java object. That is automatically converted into what format? Huh? That is the responsibility of the Jackson library. What library guys here? What are Jackson library will do? Tell me. Takes the JSON input. Automatically convert what? Take the JSON object, set it to what? Java employee object by auto conversion. By what? Automatically converted. Whatever next one is going to say, return the we return the response is what? We return the employee. We return what? What response, ma? Employee response. That is we given what response, ma? Employee response. That is automatically converted to JSON. So you got the input is what? JSON. But that JSON is stored into what object here? Java object, which is done by Jackson library. So JSON request body coming, that is directly stored into employee guys. Directly stored into what? Employee. Now you got the employee. The controller layer got the request. The controller layer got the what? Request. Controller layer guys got the request, got the what you can say here, request. All URLs present here. All URLs present here. See, you got the request. Now you don't write the business logics here. You give this object to what layer? Tell me here. Huh? Then you tell me, girls, you tell me, ma, how you given that object to the controller layer, service layer? Etla ichcharu code across andaniki? Huh? See, you got the employee object. The controller layer has the employee. Controller layer has what? Employee. You give this employee to service layer. Tell me how. How to create the service layer object? Service s equal to new service. Nice. Create a service object. In service layer we have one method like public what? Public what you can say here? Employee. Tell me guys, this is what? Save employee. So assume that method is there in the service layer. Service layer contains what mark? Save employee. Nice. Which is taking argument is what? Employee. Nice. Call that method. What method? S dot. We need to call what? Save employee. Save employee of what? You can pass that employee object. You can pass that what? Who don't know that code, guys? You are not understand the REST APIs. Simple codes. Sir, I don't know that code. I didn't write that code. I'm a responsible fellow, a best fellow, whatever it may be. If you don't know that code, you are not fit for the REST API. Simple. The data comes to what layer? Controller layer. The controller layer data we should give to what layer? To give the data in the service layer, one method should be there. You call that method by creating service object. By creating what object? That's what, guys. Here, let me take the class is what? What the class is here? Employee controller. Employee controller, I taken the class. Just let me make this method inside this class. And just you need to, this is the method. And this class is annotated with what annotation guys here? REST controller, post mapping, request body. Now, REST controller to represent that class is a REST controller class. Post mapping representing the post operations. Request body will capture the input. Capture the input. After capturing input, that input we should give to what layer? Service layer input table. To give the input to service layer, guys, here we have the class like class. What a class among employee employee service class is there. Employee service also contains a method like save employee. What method guys? Employee service class also contains a save employee. Then what we should do guys here? Tell me here. So save employee, just employee we need to give like this. Fine. Then what we should do? Rest controller here, what we should do. Now you got the object here, right? This class is annotated with what annotation guys? At the rate service. At the rate what? Service. At the rate service that should be annotated, right? Employee service is done. This is the method is done. Fine. This is writing the logics here. Writing what? Logics here. Fine. Tell me we should give this employee to what layer? Tell me here. Service layer. Then tell me how to give. Create the object of what class guys here? Huh? You said like create the object of service class. Sir. Service class contains one method. You create the object of service class and you can call that method. You give input. Sir, yeah, to pass the data, guys, to pass the data between the what you can say here layers. We need to what? We need to what? To pass it between the layers. Layers using what is method arguments. Method what? Argument. So I need to give the see your what layer? Huh? Gray layer. What you guys? Because the data comes to what layer? Controller layer have the URLs, routings. Controller layer has what? Yeah, the request comes to controller layer have the URLs. You take that URL, capture the data, send the data to what layer? Huh? Then you guys silence, service layer, repository layer, you guys are please silence. Controller layer will talk. Tell me controller layer, that controller layer contains what data? Routing methods. Simply can say what methods? Routing methods in the sense you say simply which contains all URLs. All URLs are there in what layer? Request comes to controller layer. You capture that input. How you capture the input? Request what you captured. Then what we have to do? You have to send the data to what layer? Now what you will do? Breakfast what do you guys will do? Already BTech లేదా పోయి ఎక్కడికి వచ్చాం కమ్యూనికేట్ నేను ఎదురు పోయారు అనుకో మళ్ళీ ఏం చేస్తారు ఇంటికి పోతారు అది పోతురు ఇంటికి పోతురు request is comes to what layer? Controller layer you capture the body. After capturing the body, you need to send an employee to what layer? Service layer from there. What you guys will do? Create update of what layer? Service layer object you should create. Then you create the already created IOC container using what annotation? At the rate service annotation already this object is ready. Then you should create already created. Then what you have to do? Call that who created object? IOC container already created object. Then you want to call that method means you require that object, right? Yes or no? The request comes to what layer? Yes, one request handling if you know the flow of execution, remaining all the same flow is going on. So get to post to put to delete what patch. If I get it changes, same flow. Same flow. Request comes to what layer? You capture which contains all URLs, we capture the input. What input you capture? You captured employee input, right? Exactly. After capturing employee input, what we should do? You should send the data to what layer? Huh? Service layer. Service layer, you have to capture the input. You need send the data service layer. You require object. What object? Already object you want to create, already created. There is an object. IOC container already created object. IOC container has that object. IOC container has that object. What you should do? You call that object. You want that object, right? So you want You create object or you want object? Right? Already created. Who created? IOC container. IOC container create the object. Then you create object, you don't create object. Then what you do? You already created object, right? Already already created object means what you want? You want to inject that object. You can what? Inject the object because already object is created by what? You want that object means you inject that object into you. Like what? Avayami. You already which object is ready? Service object. And you will name contain IOC container. IOC container already what? Object is. What we should do? You what? Inject that object. You get that object means you inject that object into you. Into what? You means what? Controller layer what he has to do? Inject object. What object he has to inject? So already object is ready. You should create the object, you should inject the object. Check the ఆర్తి వాళ్ళు చెప్తున్నారంటే మిమ్మల్ని ఎంజాయ్ చేయమని కాదు. యూ షుడ్ నో ద ప్రాసెస్. మళ్ళీ మిమ్మల్ని కంట్రోల్ చేయడం. యూ షుడ్ హ్యావ్ ద క్లారిటీ అబౌట్ వాట్ ద కంట్రోల్ ఇస్ డూయింగ్. నేను సర్వీస్ ఒకటే కదా తప్పుడు కంట్రోల్ అని రాయమని ఈ కంట్రోల్ వాళ్ళ హెచ్క్యూ తీసుకొని రాయమను. రిపాజిటరీ ఒకటి తీసుకో, నువ్వు మధ్యలో కూర్చో. అది నీది అయిపోయింది అన్నాడు, కంట్రోల్ లేదు అంతా. What object you want? You want service object and you create object already created. Already created means you have to inject the object. To inject that object, guys, you're using handles like auto wiring. What the concept here? Auto wiring. What is auto wiring? Auto wiring is nothing but injecting the object into you. Object is injecting into what? You. Already who created object? What object you want, you can inject. Who create objects? What object you want? Which object you want? Then what you should do? Inject that object into you. You means what? Controller. Inject that object means what? So you depend on which object? That is called dependent. See, you depend on which object? You want which object? I want service object means that also dependent, right? So you dependent on which object? Service object. Then you can inject that object. That is called dependency injection. Injection. Dependency injection means that the controller object, what dependencies is required, inject the dependencies. Inject that what? For immediate call, we inject that dependency injection. What injections? The dependency injection done by auto wiring. You make we inject చేసుకోండి. What object you want, you can inject. That process is called what? The process is called what? మీకు ఏం డిపెండెన్సీస్ కావాలో ఇంజెక్ట్ చేసుకోండి. ఎట్లా ఇంజెక్ట్ చేసుకోవాలి? What dependencies you want, you can inject the dependencies. That process is called what? That process is called what? What dependencies you want, inject the dependencies. How the dependencies are injected? Hey, the name how to. You understand the concept, right? మీకు ఏం కావాలో వాళ్ళు ఇంజెక్ట్ చేసుకోండి. What objects you want, you inject that. That process we can call it as what? How the dependency injection is done? Using? I got right. The process we are saying our dependency injection, but that how it is doing is what? Auto wiring. How it is doing what? That's it. What object you want, tell me? Service object means employee controller guys. We require service object at the rate what? Auto wiring. we are injecting the dependency. What dependency you want, Amma? Employee service. Employee service. Employee service what? Employee service. That's it, guys. We done the code. Auto-wire is the process. So the controller layer, you are injected what object, Amma? What object? That's it. You injected. Injected, not interested in injection. If you are not interested, nothing, no problem. You can remove this line. You remove this line, you create the object. But what object you created that you only know. Spring IOC kind of don't know. Then saying that get out. Then you delete the code, get out of the company. Get out of what? That's it. Because who create objects always? You want any object, you can request to what? Then IOC container will give that object. How you request to the IOC container? Using auto-wire. You need to auto-wire that object. We need to what? Then the object is ready. Employee service dot what? Save employee data, some method you can take. Then you can call that method. Employee service dot save employee data. We need to pass that object. What object? What object you got it? That's it. What object you got it? You can. This is what object you got, save. That's all. You got it? You are creating service object already created. Created. Huh? Then what you have to do? Inject that object. That is called what? Dependency injection is a process of injecting the dependencies that you require. Yeah, dependency DI. DI is a process of inject the dependencies. What? What we want. Inject the dependencies what you want. Dependencies is a process. Inject the dependencies that you what you want. That you require. Okay, what you want another that you require another. That you require another. What do you want to be request? Dependency is a process of inject dependencies that you require. That you require. Dependency injection is a process of injecting the dependencies that you require. The process. The dependency injection done using what annotation it is here? The DI is done. The dependency injection is what? Done using auto. That's it, guys. Automatically inject the dependencies. Okay. That is what the concept is here. Auto-wiring. That is done, guys. I think controller people, what we are doing, you are injecting what object? You inject the service object using what annotation? Then object is ready, then call using that object, call that method. Then you send the data to what layer? Service people, you got that object. What object? This is the object you got. Argument. Service people, now you tell me what you should write. Class X. What do you write? Logics. Nice. You write the logics. Some logic you written is you are sleeping you because you know the logics you written coming from ChatGPT, whatever it may be. Logics are. After logic you done, what we should do? Amma? Generator do what? Generator do? Deposit the layer. Tell me. Then what you have to do? You done the logics. Once you done the logic, employee object finally ready. This is the final employee object. This final employee object, after some modifications, some calculations, what we done, final employee object is ready. This object we need to send the data into a database. Nothing but what you have to send this data to what layer? Repository layer. Then what you should do? Because repository object you should create or already created. What you should do? What object you have to inject? Depository object you have to inject. How to inject? At the rate? At the rate? At the rate auto-wide annotation we need to use to inject the dependency. What dependency you have to inject? Employee repository. Employee repository, reference variable you can take the lower case. Employee repository. Now object is ready. Using that object, what we should call? Employee repository dot. This repository people should have one method. Because service, you injected what method of service, then you call the service method, right? Then what you should inject? You inject you inject the repository object, you send the data to what layer? Repository layer will save the data into what? To send the data to repository layer method should have one method, right? Should have one method. But repository layer people, you are very nice, you are very innocent people. Repository layer, you are extending what class? JPA repository, right? Repository layer, you are the dummy. You don't need to write a single method. You don't need to write what? Single method. You are the dummy people. Because you are extending what? That guy will give the method. Predefined methods they will give. Yes or no? Yes. You should write the method, post mapping, operations method you should write. Logic method you should write. But database saving, save the data means save method recognition. These people should call what method? Save method. But you people don't write the save method. Save method you are extending what repository? JPA repository is providing save method. Then you are the dummy. So no need to write a single method also, you guys. Then you should call what method? Save method. Save method is belongs to what? Repository. Repository, JPA repository. Exactly. That's what it is. Employee repository object you inject, you call the save method. Generally, the save method should be present in what? Repository. But there in the repository or JPA repository. This is the process, guys. Assume that today topic is important, not important. If you miss the today class, then decide. Monday class you understand or not? Today we done the Jackson library, we done the auto wiring, we done the dependency injection, we done the how to forward the data, we done what? Yeah, that's it. That's the flow you understood. See guys, you are making the grid share. Auto wiring. You auto wire what layer? No? Call the service method. You auto wire what method? Call the repository method. Once the auto wiring is done, the bridge is ready. How to make the bridge between the layers means auto wiring. Yes or no? You guys are three blocks. I need to make the bridge. Bridge means what? You guys link these fellows. You guys link these fellows. How to link these fellows? Auto wiring will make the bridge between the layers. Once make the bridge between the layers, you can send the data. Oh, you can send what? That's it. Completed task. We done what? Task. The data comes to what layer? Controller layer contains what methods? URLs. Controller contains what? Controller layer contains the URL methods, operation methods which contains the URLs. We will capture the input. And you need to send the input to what layer? Service layer. That's so that you want service object, but service object you don't create, already created by what? You inject that object using what? You inject these people guys using autopilot. Using what? You can call these methods. How to make the bridge between the layers? How to make the bridge between the layers? That's it. Once you make the bridge between the layers, so that you guys you can call these methods, you can call these methods because already auto wiring is done using a reference variable, you can send the data. But unfortunately, you are calling save method. The save method should be there in what repository. But are you writing already provided JPA repository? It means what? You are the dummy. Just you have the dummy. That's it. You don't need to write the methods because the methods are given by. Huh? That is the process. That is what? Process. Got it? Request input is coming. Request is coming. What format? But if we are converting the Java object directly assigned to Java object, in that case, the conversion is done, right? Who is doing the conversion? దగ్గర విషయం ఉందిరా కాకపోతే అప్పుడప్పుడు ఏంటంటే కొద్దిగా అలవాట్లు ఈ రాత్రి అంతా చాటింగ్ పైసలు అంటే ఏం చేస్తారు కానీ Yes. That's it. How many layers?
Yes.
Controller layer. Initial the data is captured to initial the data comes to what layer?
Yeah.
How will you capture the data? Hmm?
Body.
Request body. It will capture the data, which will be stored in the employee class. Stored into what? Employee class. Then tell me the request comes to what layer? The request comes to what layer? How to capture the input? How to capture the input? How to capture the input? What is the role of Jackson? What is the role of what? Jackson. Okay, good. What is the role of what? Jackson. What is the controller class contains? What is the controller class contains? What is the controller class contains means what? You can say the controller class it contains routing. URL is what? Routing, right? Routing URLs. Routing URLs. It contains routing URLs. It contains routing URLs with operational methods. With what? Operational methods. Operational methods means what? Get to, post to, put to, delete, all operational methods. But the controller contains what? It contains the URLs with operational methods. It will capture the request. With what? It will capture the request. It will capture the request, but capture the request and tell me, send the. It will capture the request. It will capture the request. Send the request to body data to what layer, sir? Huh? Exactly. What is the dependency required by controller layer? What is the dependency required by what layer? Controller layer. What is the dependency required by controller layer? Huh? What is the dependency required by controller layer? Huh? Service object required. How to inject the dependency? How to inject the dependency? How to inject the dependency using? Huh? What is dependency injection? What is DI? What is the DI? The process of injecting the dependencies is called what? See, the process of injecting the dependencies that you require. That you require. DI process injecting dependencies that you require. That is called dependency injection. How it is injected means? And process we are calling it as a DI. But how it is done means what? Exactly. What is dependency injection? The process is called what? The process. DI is what? Process of inject the dependencies that you require. That you require. Next one is what? What is auto? What is auto wiring? What is auto wiring? The dependencies are injected. The dependencies are what? Injected using what? The dependencies are injected using what? The dependencies injection. The dependency injection done using what? Auto wiring. Using what amount? Inge also dependent. Injected dependencies. Who creates objects? Who create the objects? Who create the objects? Who create the object means that's okay, fine. Then how to inject the object? Okay, who create the object? How to inject the dependencies? Yeah, fine, good. What is the role of service layer? What is the role of service layer? What the role of service layer? All the business logic you are writing in what layer? Service layer. What is the dependency required by service layer? The dependency required by what is the dependency required by what layer? Service layer. What is the dependency required by service layer? What? Repository object. How to inject the dependency? By using auto wiring. How to inject the dependency is what? Using the service layer we have done. Next one is what? What is the role of repository layer? What is the role of what? Repo layer. What is the role of repo layer? Working with what? Database. Working with what? Database. Here, do we need to write any methods in this layer? No, because here, do we need to write? Do we need to write any methods? Do we need any methods?
No.
Why? Because JP repository providing the methods. So what is the role of what repository? JPA repository. What is the role of JPA repository? No? No. The REST APIs will take the input which format. The REST APIs takes the input which format. Which format? The REST APIs will send the response which format. Use the response. REST APIs, REST APIs, yeah, takes the inputs, right? Use the output. Yeah, just you can write what? Use the input or output. Use the output which format. Yeah, message learning level class. What is the role of Jackson? I will come back. What is the role of Jackson? Nice. Controller layer contains what methods? Routing methods and operational methods. Routing URLs and operation with operational methods. Operational methods means what? Get to, post to, put to, delete, patch. Who creates objects? Huh? I was saying that, right? Because you write the code exactly what I written here. REST controller, employee controller, auto while service. You got the save request body, employee, save employee data. Then request comes to what? On service layer. The service layer, guys. You please cross check that service layer. In the service layer logic, what logic we should write? What logic we should write? Business logic, right? Nice. What logic we should write? Please observe carefully. He got the department. He got what? Department. He got what? Department. He got what? Department. Make sure that HR department, developer department, tester department is there. Make sure that if the client is given any one of these three departments, then only the data should be validated. Then only the data should be what?
Valid.
You please cross check that department should be HR, developer, and tester. If any other department is there, directly you can close the exception. Close what? Exception. Department invalid exception. Close the exception, guys. Simply you can throw the predefined class runtime exception. Close the runtime exception, department is what? Not valid. You please cross check. You write the code just. You write what? Code. So I got it up. Department HR. Okay, I will tell you in the evening. First you make the setup ready. Make what?
Setup.
Make the setup ready. Make the setup ready. While doing the setup, guys, you just auto write. Hey, setup already undi kada. You guys already have a setup right. Already you have the apply layer and all. Just we are injecting an object using what the data. That's what guys you write this code also. Close the exception. What exception guys here? Runtime exception department is not valid. Department is what? Not valid. They given employee salary is there. Salary is there, not there. Who the salary is greater than 30K salary is there? Salary is greater than what? 30K salary. Make it bonus like make it bonus is 10%. Who are greater than 30,000? Make it bonus is what? 30%. And if they're giving the department like HR, development, and tester, HR department and tester department they given, you please make it as like every character of figures. When you give the input, they are giving input like standard format or they are giving input normal way. Normal way. Maybe some people are giving input HR character, some people are giving HR small. Maybe some people are giving upper and lower case. We don't know what input is coming, right? Sir, no. That's what guys. When the HR is coming, make the every department starting code is a capital. For dev group, this is a dev group, this is a test. Like tester. Assume that this is what? Tester department. This is what? Developer department. Make sure that every starting character should be capital. What is starting what? Starting character is what character gets here? Capital. Got logic is clear? Good. Everyone calculate the PF. Calculate the PF of percentage like 2%. or 5% of PF. And calculate the employee tax with the 18%. Tax with what?
80%.
Not 18% means the tax is almost for 30%. Almost of what? 30% tax. See, he given employee salary. Once he given the salary, if is the salary greater than 30K, 10% is bonus. Calculate the PF is 5%. Calculate the tax is 30%. Final salary I need to put into database. I need to put into what?
Database.
Backlog. So to get some calculation, I'm giving this kind of information. So make sure the developer, HR, and tester departments only accepted. If any other department is coming, department is what? Numerator. And starting character should be capital. Starting character is what?
Capital.
Capital. Assume that you got the gender male or female, guys. When you enter the male or what? Female you got. Right? But you store in the database M and F. You please convert that male or female into what? M and F. I don't want to store the female, male. See, some people will give the input is what? Male, M cap less rho. Some people are giving M cap, some people are giving what? Female means what? F, M cap like that. But I don't want to store this all the data. I need to store what? Male and female. M and F. M and what?
F.
See, this REST API is like, data is not coming from the form. The data is coming from what? React, the data coming from what? Other REST API, the data coming from what? Mobile applications, I don't know. That's why different people use the different formats. But we need to follow standards the service layer should do and store the data database. Got it up? Good. ID we should not give, guys, because ID we are giving auto generator. So this field should not contain ID field. Should not contain what field? Exactly. So name we are doing operation, department we are doing operation, salary we are doing operation, gender we are doing operation, ID auto generated. Got it up? Exactly. See guys, now we can go with the data here. Go with what? Data. And yeah, the repository layer. A repository people, employee repository, what method we should call? Just save. Just what method we should call? Save of employee. Save method call, that's all. Then data will be stored in the database. Data will be stored in what? Database. Hey, that's it guys. You complete this example. Save the data in the database. What is it? You guys what? Because of flow what is it? Just we can take the auto-wire annotation, post mapping annotation, request word annotation, send this data to what layer? Service layer. Then the service data comes to what? Service layer. First you should have the common sense that what data input is coming, where the input is storing. Where the input is storing? Employee. Where the input is storing? This employee we are sending to what layer? Service layer. What layer? Service layer. After the service layer is taking the input means this is the input I am taking. After that, we are doing these all operations. After that, we are saying the data into what? Database. Saying the data into where? We complete this sentence. Let's finish. Sir, okay, sir, I written on code, then how to test my application working or not? How to check my application is what? You should give what? Input, right? What input? Request body input, right? Yeah, to do the request body input, guys, all of you today install one software that is called Postman software. The software name Postman. All of you install the software like Postman. Click on the Postman. This is the download the Postman. So click on the Windows download 64-bit. Click on it. Once you click on it, the Postman is downloaded. Once the Postman is downloaded, install the Postman. Once you install the Postman, you will get the Postman symbol like this. This is the Postman. Sir, why this Postman, sir? We created REST API. I created what? REST API. If I created REST API, who use my REST API? Maybe React, maybe mobile, maybe other services can use. Before sharing my REST API, I need to check that my REST API is working properly or not. Or directly I need to share the URL. First I need to check my REST API is what? Working properly or not. First I need to check the REST API is working properly or not. If it is working, then I need to give the REST API to what? Others. Share the URL to others. But as of now, there is no consumers. Any consumers are there? No. No consumers, guys. If there is no consumers, I need to test my REST API is working properly or not. Right? Once my testing is working out, okay, I'm giving input, getting output. My testing is working. Testing is what?
Working.
Then I decided like, I need to share this URL to what? Others. To test the REST APIs, to test what? REST APIs, we are using what tool? My tool is what? Postman. What tool am
Postman.
Postman tool is there, and one more tool Swagger is there. Evening class, I will tell you the Swagger also. This is what tool come Postman. That's what guys, you please install the Postman. Install what? Postman. Once if you open this Postman, guys, the Postman is open. Postman is what? Open. Once the Postman is open, there we need to go for the data here. Some initially you will get the request like directly you get that something like URL. Yes, here you click on the plus operator screen. Like initially you don't have any URLs, then you can see what plus. You click on the plus. Once if you click on the plus, it's showing the U like this. So it is showing like get request. If you click on this, there you're showing what get to, post to, put to, patch to, delete. You'll get the request like this. What request you are sending now? Get request or post?
Post.
Post. You select the post. Select the post that contains URL, right? What the URL tell me? Localhost 8080 slash save. Save is URL. For that URL, I need to give what? Input, right? Input means I will request body. That terminal is important, guys. We should give what? Request.
Body.
Request what?
Body.
Request.
Body.
Request body. Then you can go for the. Can you see the body, right? Some it's a matter of like 5 minutes work. Just you can localhost 8080, click on what? Save. Go for what? Body. If you click on the body, guys, we need to select what? Once if we select the raw here, see guys, give the post URL. You see, first select the request type. Next one, give the URL. Select the body. Select the raw. And here you select the JSON. Here you select what?
JSON.
Select the JSON. Here you can give your input. What is the input places? This is a JSON input, guys. ID we should give or we should not give the ID. Just you can give what? Name. Caller. Name what? Caller. Tell me what name we should give. Just you can write what? Location. Name. This one is what? Salary. See guys, JSON when you give braces you can start and every key should be double quotes always. Key should be what? Double quotes. See this is a location. Salary is what? 10,000 like you can write the 10,000.45 and third one is what? ID, name, salary. What is the gender? Gender. Male. Good. There is a male gender. Good. Next one is what gets here? Department. A department? Huh? 404. Department is like 404. Yeah, department is what? 404. Hey, like that. So total of 4 values. Why not for ID? ID is you given auto generate. Use and the standard generated value strategy equal what? Auto. Yeah. If you click on the send button, click on what? Send. Click on what? Send. When you click on the send button like this, guys, here you will get the some status code. What the status code like 200. Some status code you will get 200. Once if we got the 200 status code is like okay, then you check the H2 console data inserted or not inserted. Data is what? Inserted or what? That's it, guys. There's the data. You want to try? You want me to try means I will do 1 second. I will do 1 second. Give me a second. Give me what? Second. Yesterday class continuation we will do. It's opening your dangerous batch URL. BCS SJPs. Job means only two things: front end React, back end SJS. If you are good, you are the developer. You are the I know array reverse. There is a data. See guys, what the data I need to do is just let me go for the data. A మొద్దు మనకి the time లేదు కాబట్టి so then here I can ask these three persons. I ask this all. What layer guys here? Just let me go for the start security. Ask the person. Just you can ask like yeah, all this information. Then he will give the code. So guys, now let me take the URLs. First let me go for what layer guys here? Controller layer. Controller layer, employee controller class. First let me finish the employee controller class data. Employee controller class. Once if I employee controller class data is there, enjoy. Employee controller class data is there. Employee controller, you need to take the post mapping. You copy this here, come to the post mapping. System bit slow. What data we need to go with guys here? What data? What data? What data here? Post mapping. You copy that post mapping URL. This is a post mapping URL. This is a post mapping. A return type you can make it as a void as of now. I will tell you the evening class how to change return type as of now. You can put in what void. But the URL is here /slave. You please auto wire that object. Controller people, what object you required on the service layer. At the rate what annotation here? Auto wire. At the rate auto wire, what class required on the employee service. Employee service, employee service. Employee service dot what? Save employee data. See guys, you write the employee service dot save employee data of, you can pass this employee. Request body will capture that input, right? You pass that employee. But do you observe that this method is there or not there? Not there means you don't write the method in that service layer. You do one thing. You feel that okay, save employee data method is there in the service layer, guys. You just place the cursor, create the method means automatically method is created. Automatically what? Method is created. You understood? Huh? In controller people, you feel that okay, save employee data method is there in the service layer. You write the method. Then you place the cursor. It is asking that do you want to create the method? Click on that. Automatically method is what? Created. The next one is what? Service layer. Service layer, guys. Here we have the data like bonus salaries. Is all the data I have. Just what? Set the gender and all. Set what? Gender. Set what? Gender. See guys, that is a gender code here. Just let me copy that code. And here, this is the data. See, this is what my data. See, that is the data he returned. So let me take outside this method. Fine. This is the employee repository required. Service people, you require what layer guys here? Employee service. See guys, bonus. Yeah, bonus data you can calculate guys because you're getting some PF and tax amount like this. You will do the calculations. Hey, service layer people, what object you want? Employee? Employee repository. Employee repository. Then after doing this all the calculations guys, you please write the return statement required, just you can make it as void. Void. then you save that employee in the database. That's all, guys. Repository people, do you have any save method with you? No. Do you have any save method? No. Because the save method is coming from where? JPA. Why? Task is completed, that's all. Just let me run this code. Right click on the project.
No, I.
Where? Is a repository. Okay. At the rate what? Service. At the rate service. And here also we need to write what? At the rate? Control. Nice. Guys, you can come to the dashboard. Let me right click on what? Start. Once if you right click on start, click on OK. Then the project is started. Download the tool. What the tool we should download? Postman, download it. Once you can download the Postman, download what? Postman. This is the Postman we need to download. It's asking like the data. Please cross check that you got some issues, guys. You read that issue box. What table you created? Employee table, huh? No, I think it's saying that trust table is there. Let me go for the employee here. Let me change this. Let me delete this line. Let me delete this line. Let me delete this column name also. ID, name, salary, department, gender. Yeah, that's it. And employee service also we have some issues. Yeah, I think already closing brace is written. Again, we got this issue. Fine. Guys, let me run this code. Right click on the project, start. Just here we should know how to auto write. That's all. Once if you auto write, you can call the methods. You can call what? Methods. Once if you auto write, if you call the methods, that's all, guys. You can come to the Postman. As you know that URL is clear, right? Put the URL here. Port number how much? What request I going to select? Post. This is what 8006. What the URL name? Say. You select what? Body. Select what? Select what? JSON. Give the JSON object. This is what? JSON object. Once you give the JSON object, I think department, you written some logic, right? Department, you written some logic, guys. You please make the department is clear. Again, you get a disturbance. Click on what button, guys? Send. Once if you click on the send, guys, gender is like you written gender must be okay, male or what, female. Because here I written the gender not equals ignore case, not equal to what? EF. Okay, that is like you write the male and what they write the what? Female. Nice. Because after that, let me come to. I need to restore the server. Server how we loaded it. Using what dependency? DevTools dependency. Click on the send button, guys. Click on what? Send button. I click on what? Start. This gender logic, what we written is GNDR. GNDR. Fine. Let me click on send. Once you click on the send, guys, now, okay, fine. Let me do one thing. Open the service layer. This gender, I can do what? If I delete the gender, you right click and what? Send the details. Yeah, once you send the details, now you got a 200 OK. OK means data is what? Saved. Data saved means you open that URL. What the URL tell me, guys? Yeah? H2 console. How to open H2 console? Localhost 8006 / H2 console. Once if you do like this and test DB, that URL I need to check guys once. I think same URL, sir. Yeah. You see that test DB fine. The password is what? Rather @ 123. You click on this one, click on the correct. Now you got the data is what? Employee. Once you got the employee, click on what? Run. Now your data is what? Saved in the database. So by 4 o'clock, all of you show that example. Show that
Exam.
exam. Got it up? Don't think like if you are not showing the example, I told that take the time. No time. Go back and stand. I will take the class. We'll take what?
Class.
They take the pics for this. Yeah, the first one you can take after this one. After control level. After that you write this one. Pick 2. మరి క్లోజ్ అయ్యారు మరి కనెక్టెడ్ ఇది ఏమో శాంపుల్ కోసం ఓన్లీ చేసి పెట్టినారు బట్ రిటర్న్ టైప్ ఈజ్ ఎంప్లాయీ రిటర్న్ టైప్ ఈజ్ వాయిడ్ వాయిడ్ తీసుకోండి the continuation. These are the questions you write the answers. And then answer right. These are the questions. But some questions answer is already there. But remaining questions you write what? Answers. Last one here. Post request. Queue that input like that. Request method is what? Request method is the post. And queue the next one is what? Queue the URL. Queue the what is a URL? Tell me. This is a URL. Next one is what? Select the body. Select the body. Next one is what? Select the raw. Select the body. Select the raw. Next one is what? Select the JSON. Okay, that's it, guys. Bye bye.